populate heaven. The reason why when you give your life to Christ, you didn't die and go to heaven is because every Christian has been given the mandate to populate heaven. And that is why we remain on earth. So a Christian is like a signpost that shows the way to life and the way to truth. And whether you like it or not, it is our responsibility as individuals to ensure that this war on earth is not won by the devil, but by God. You can't not serve a man faithfully if you don't know who he is. You cannot have a personal relationship with a person if you don't understand his do's and don'ts, his love, his likes and dislikes. Oftentimes, God has been misinterpreted. Oftentimes, a particular part of God has been stretched to the extreme, and another side of him has been killed. The balance of Christianity is to show God in all totality. And when a man understands God in all totality, with the little understanding that he has, because God is incomprehensible, it gives the man a balance to approach him. And that is what gives us access as Christians into the throne of grace. For the next few minutes, I will be speaking on the nature of God. You must know who God is before you can approach him. You must know who God is before you can approach him. In Jeremiah chapter 32 verse 17, I'm going to be trying as much as possible to read as fast as I can because of our time. Jeremiah was writing to us, and he said some things that describe God and shows his nature as a person. And those things, I want to read some of them to you this morning. Jeremiah said in verse 32 verse 17, if you get there before me, please, you can read because of our time. I read Jeremiah chapter 32 verse 17. It says, O Lord God, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too difficult for you. The first nature of God is that God is all powerful. There has never been a thing in front of God that is complex to him. To God, everything is simple. To God, everything is workable. When God sees a problem, the solution appears before the problem. When God sees a mountain, there's a valley in front of it. When you come to dryness, what God sees is overflow. There has never been any problem before God that the solution is not in front of him. And so the book of Jeremiah made us to understand that God is all powerful. There's nothing too hard for him to do. He said he stretches the garment, the heavens like a garment. Absolutely nothing. To date, men are still trying to discover the number of planets that we have in the universe. People have not even explored up to 55% of the galaxies that God created. God is all powerful. God has all power to do all things. That's the first nature of God. The second nature of God is that God is sovereign. What does it mean to be sovereign? To be sovereign means having the ability to do what you want to do and no one can question you. In the book of Daniel chapter 4 verse 35, Daniel showed us something. Daniel chapter 4 verse 35. Just like I said, I'll be reading as fast as I can because of our time. So if you cannot turn to it, you can just listen to me read it out. Yes, sir.
And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. And he dwells according to his will in the army of heaven.
what doest thou? Nobody has the capacity. Nobody has the temerity. Nobody has the wisdom. Nobody has the guts. Nobody has the authority to look at God in the face and say to him, what are you doing? God is sovereign. He can do what he wants to do at every point in time, and no man can question him. No being can question him. No power can withstand him. But there's something that is mysterious about God. In all God's sovereignty, we say God is all powerful. We say God is sovereign. But you know what God did? God is holy and just. In 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 2, God showed forth that he is holy and what? And just. He is holy and just. He is holy and just. It says, there's no one holy like the Lord. Indeed, there's no one beside you, as there's no rock like our God. In 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1, it shows that God is holy and just. What does it mean to be holy? It means to be unstainable by sin or evil, to be perfectly good. So God is all powerful. God is all sovereign. He can do whatever he wants to do. No one can question him. He has the ability to change anything, and no one can ask him, what doest thou? But God is holy and what? And just. He is perfect in goodness. His perfection in goodness puts him under a state where he can do all things, but it's not everything he does. He has power to intervene in any situation, but it's not all situations he intervenes. He can take anything he wants to take, but not everything he takes. He can give anything that he wants to give, but not everything he gives. Why? Because he's a holy and a just God. He's unstainable by sin and by evil. If you look at this extreme of God and you drag it to the extreme as a Christian, what you put up before people will be a wicked God. If you take the holiness of God and drag it to the extreme, and you take the justness of God and drag it to the extreme, and you take the purity of God and drag it to the extreme, what you will develop God to be is a schoolmaster that has a long cane in his hand to discipline anyone that offends him. The nature of God brings balance to a Christian. The nature of God helps a Christian to first of all understand who he is dealing with. He said, he that must worship him must first of all understand that God is what? Is a spirit. And they that must worship him what? In spirit and what? And in truth. There's an aspect of God that is the nature of God. In when we read in 1 John chapter 4, verse 7 to about 20, he said, God is love. The book of Romans provided more insight to it. Romans chapter 8, verse 35 presented more insight to it. Now, what is love? Now, love for a person is emotional attachment. That is not what God calls love. What God calls love is different from our definition of love. He said, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or distress, persecution or famine, or nakedness or danger or sword? As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. God's nature is love. What is love? Love is unconditional. There is nothing you are going to do on earth that will make God love you more. There is nothing you are going to do on earth that make God love you less. The danger of Christianity is if a Christian fails to understand this nature of God. Do you know why God introduced love? When God created man in the Garden of Eden and placed him in the Garden of Eden, and he gave instruction to Adam and said, the fruits at the middle of the garden you shall not eat it. For the day you eat it, you are going to die. And that instruction was given to man. And Adam was in the garden, and the devil appeared and approached Eve and was able to convince Eve to eat of the fruit. When Eve ate of that fruit, and Adam, her husband, came and he extended the same thing to him, and Adam ate. You know what happened? Adam and Eve were cut off from God. So when God brought Moses and he delivered the people from the land of Egypt, God gave Moses a law. What was the essence of the law? To show man how wretched he is without his love. To show man how frustrated his life would be without his love. And so what the Lord did was to show man the need for God. Because if the law was not introduced, man could have never understand what the need for God is. Let me paint a very perfect picture for you. My last daughter is 3 years old. When she was 1 year old, she can pick up my phone and smash it. What will I do to her? I will collect the phone and say, hope the phone has not been broken. If you pick my phone and smash it, what will I say you did? An act of wickedness. Now, what was the sin? Was it the act of smashing the phone? No. The reason why it was sin, because Brother Christian did it, is because Brother Christian has knowledge of right and wrong. And he knows that if a phone is smashed on the floor, because of the frail nature of the phone will damage and I cannot use it. But my daughter that is 1 year old does not understand that if you smash a phone on the floor, the phone will damage and the phone cannot be used. Therefore, what she did was not a sin. That was why God brought law into being, to show man why he needs him. If you fail to understand that God is love, the devil will through sin harden your heart until you are completely cut off from him. When a Christian sins, he runs closer to God. When an unbeliever sins, he runs away from God. The reason why Christians run closer to God with sin is because God is love. They understand his nature. When the prodigal son took part of his father's possession, went to a foreign land and squandered everything, destroyed everything, the love of the father was not tampered. The love of his father did not go up or go down. The father did not say in his heart, my son has left me, so I hate him. No. The person that has the decision to make Whether to accept the love or to reject it was the son. Immediately the son came back, realized his mistake, and came. The Bible said, as he was afar off, he said the father ran to him and placed his head on his shoulder. That brings me to the next nature of God. God is merciful. God is merciful. What is mercy? Mercy is withholding the right to punish a sinner. Deliberately withholding the right to punish a sinner. We sinned as people. We neglected God and ran away from Him. And what did God do? Instead of punishing us, He punished Jesus. He withheld the right to punish us and transferred it to His Son. It is this aspect of Christianity that draws me closer to Him. It is this understanding of the nature of God that helps me to be stable in my Christian life. So if I'm a Christian and I pray to God to stop doing,
you are glorious, so glorious in your ways. You are glorious, so glorious in your ways. Say you are glorious, glorious in your ways. Say you are glorious, so glorious in your ways. Yeah, you are beautiful, so beautiful in your ways. Yeah, you are awesome, so powerful, so powerful. Yeah,
I'd just like you to be an expectant of his presence. Be an expectant. Come on, wherever you are. I cooperate. Come on, can you connect your heart now? Don't allow someone else to take you away. Wherever you are, can you connect your heart? Can you connect your heart this moment? Can you connect your heart? Is there how you can express your love? Can you express your love? Can you express your love? Come on, with this somebody, can you express your love? Avele comparate, esigabai, erobe